Hello, hypnotherapy friends. Stef here from My Hypnotherapy Marketing. Welcome to our Thursday weekly meeting, gathering to get together and answer questions that you may have about marketing, your services. And so today, the question that I have posted only recently to the group is what do you believe to be the most effective way to find clients fast? So obviously, we all know that there are various different means that we have in terms of marketing outreach, talking to people, word of mouth, Facebook ads, Google ads. There's so many things out there, but that's why I wanted to have a question very specifically referring to the most effective way to find clients fast, not to find clients, but to find clients fast. But before we dive into the question, and I will provide a few insights specifically to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options that I actually gave in a little poll very recently. I'd just like you to remind you very quickly that just 1 second to make sure that you can actually hear me fine. You should be able to hear and see me fine, but I need to make sure that that's actually the case. So if you could please quickly add a comment underneath this video to let me know that you actually able to see me and hear me in this group, so that I know that technically speaking everything's fine, and you see me with a big space helmet today, which I'd like to get rid of. Oh, somebody is asking me. No, somebody's telling me, okay, we can hear and see you. Perfect. Good. So I can hear and see you. Perfect. Good. That's always reassuring because I don't know why I don't have a camera feedback right now. Anyway, good to know you can see and hear me. So just a quick reminder, last week's live stream, which is still on the page, will disappear in the next 24 hours. As you know, I always replace live streams 1 week after the other, and then I upload them to a website where you can access them at a low monthly fee if the topics are of interest to you. So, and last week's topic was what's better to have instead of when it comes to just starting out: a website, a landing page, and a Facebook page or a Facebook group, depending. So, and today's live stream again will stay online for an entire week. So, and a few remarks to today's live stream. Whenever you have a question, I can see your questions pop up on the screen, and I can also share them with everyone to see. So, for example, let's get a little test with this one. I can make them appear right here. It just says Facebook user, which is a little bit sad because I'd like to have your name on there, but that's what it is right now. Try to figure it out why we don't see your names. So, so when there are questions that I'd like to take on and answer, then I will display them on the screen. So please do not hesitate to ask your questions while I'm live in regards to what I'm saying, so that I can answer those questions specifically to your case. So let's say you have a website, you have a Facebook group, you haven't started out yet, or you have started out yet, but it's not going the way you want, or you want to increase the volume and you want to scale your business. So whenever something crosses your mind in relationship that what we are talking about, I'm talking about, don't hesitate to pop it into the comment section so that I can answer those questions. So yes. So the question: what do we believe to be the most effective way to find clients fast? Hypnotherapy clients fast, obviously. And the options that I provided you with today were Facebook ads, build a social media following, word of mouth, Google ads, networking, LinkedIn ads, blog articles and SEO, so search engine optimization of blog articles, a website or a landing page, and then lastly, free sessions to get testimonials. So I'm going to each of those of those options one by one to give you what my thoughts about each of those possibilities to find clients. And based on your feedback, I will dive deeper into those that may be of interest to you. So let's, oh, by the way, I can now get rid of my helmet because I know that you can hear and see me. So let me get this out of my way. Feeling freed. Okay. So Facebook ads. When people offering services talk about Facebook ads, it's very important to know what type of Facebook ads we talk about, because depending on the type of ads, the type of campaign you are planning to do, the results are completely different. So there's no one size fits all answer when it comes to Facebook ads. For example, you have Facebook, the in-stream ads, those who appear in the feed. You've got what's called Facebook lead ads. You've got carousel ads. You've got branding ads. It all depends what your objective is. When it comes to finding clients with the help of Facebook, I would say only two campaign types would actually apply. And obviously, it wouldn't be branding ads. Branding is building your image, reaching out, and having people to get to know your brand. If it's you as a hypnotherapist reaching out to people to offer your services, then we're talking about a personal brand. It's very likely directly related to your name. In my case, Stef Becker, and I will locate my hypnotherapy services under the stefbecker.com banner, but there are other possibilities. So two types of Facebook ads. The first type is the very traditional in-stream Facebook ad that you would set up to target those that are, let's say, interested in specific topics, because when you create a Facebook profile, you indicate to Facebook what your topics of interest are, but they're more of a general nature, but still it's possible to target those topics. But you can also, and more precisely, target people that are in specific groups that you are interested in. So to that, I have to add, before, I think a year ago still, it was possible to target directly groups. And this is no longer as easy as it was before. You have to jump through a few loops to actually make that happen. Because imagine there's there's this group, my hypnotherapy marketing. If somebody would target people in my group with offers related to building your hypnotherapy website or finding you clients in a specific niche, it would be very easy for them to do so. And it was easy to do so some time ago. But that's no longer as easy as it was. Facebook has become under a lot of pressure. They had to change quite a few things of how they're running things because of privacy issues and all sorts of trouble they got in. So that has changed. So the first type, again, is the traditional Facebook ad. Basically, you have a banner ad, a visual, and you can add text to that visual, and then you have text on top of that banner that you can add in the Facebook campaign interface, and below that banner with a button that you decide what it reads. For example, you had a banner about stop smoking in 30 days, sign up for a discovery call. And then you have a sign up button underneath that banner. And then you can add people clicking on that banner to your landing page or to your website. Landing page would probably be better because then you have a landing page specifically targeted for that specific service. And if you offer several services, well, you can have one landing page for each of those services to make it very specific to address that specific problem a person may have. The other type of Facebook ads is what's called a Facebook leads ad. And Facebook invented, it's been around for some time now, about 3 or 4 years. Facebook leads ads are different in the way that the entire transformation of the reaction of a person interested in the service offering remains on the Facebook page. They never leave Facebook. The way it works is basically you have the same setup. You have a visual with text on the visual. You have a text above the banner, a text below the banner, and then you have a button that entices you to transform that visit into something because you're interested. And Facebook collects the information you'd like it to collect right on that banner, on that button. So the button opens, and you have then fields that open that you can determine, fields such as name, the email, the whatever you'd like to add there. There are some pre-configured fields that you need to take into account. And then Facebook collects that information, that interest in relationship to your service right there. They never leave Facebook. So the big advantage of, or let's say, what is the difference between the two? The first one, the advantage is that you are in control precisely what will happen in terms of the information that you will be conveying to that person. Because if you're able to send somebody to a landing page, on that landing page, which is no longer on Facebook, you decide what you want to, what type of content, what type of information you'd like to present to that person. Let's say that landing page is designed in such a way that it has a very nice title, which is very enticing because it appeals to the pain point of that person. Something like if somebody would like to quit smoking, and you tell them, quit smoking in 30 days or 60 days, or program over 30 days, or whatever it will be. And then you have a video with you talking, or with testimonials of people that tell about the success that they had with your hypnotherapy session. Then you have text underneath with explanation how, for example, your hypnotherapy session works in RTT, in rapid transformation therapy. We have specific ways that we address those issues during a session. So you can talk about all that. Impossible if you have a Facebook leads ad, because the only thing you got is a banner and a button, subscribe if you're interested. And then people leave their name and their email. And then you have to follow up afterwards by taking that email and the information you got. You have to follow up with that person. Unless, for example, unless obviously your lead ad is designed for downloading a PDF, in which case they download a PDF, or they do something specific right on that ad. But you cannot provide more information than what's on the Facebook lead ad. So why do those two different possibilities exist? Well, first of all, with marketing analytics, we have found out that obviously, whenever you have a touch point, that you add a touch point to where somebody is requested to do something to arrive at the action that you'd like them to take, and those touch points are, for example, I click on a button, one touch point. I arrive on the landing page, and the landing page opens. Second touch point. I read now the landing page, and on that landing page there's a video and somebody inviting me to leave my name and my email. I need to enter them now. Third touch point. So the more touch points you have, the more touch points you add in any marketing funnel. So this is called a marketing funnel. And by the way, I can explain a little bit more why some people even tend to believe that you have a choice between doing a marketing funnel or not. Actually, whenever you do marketing, you whatever you do, even if it's word of mouth, you have a funnel. So there is no such thing than marketing where you need to find people to sell your services. You have automatically a marketing funnel. I'm sorry. So going back to example, the more touch points you add, the more people you will lose. It's as simple as that. With each action somebody needs to take, the percentage in terms of conversion rate goes down. If the initial conversion rate, let's say, of somebody seeing that ad, that's called an impression. Let's say there's 1,000 impressions, meaning the ad appeared 1,000 times on people's computers or on people's mobile phones. That's called impressions. Now, a certain amount of those people are interested in the ad, and they will click on the ad. Now you have what's called a click-through rate. Okay, a click-through rate is very simple. The percentage of people that click versus the number of times that ad was imprinted on somebody's computer or mobile phone. So, and then the last level, the most interesting one for us offering services, obviously, are the conversions. So there are the impressions, 1,000. 10%, let's say, conversion rate. Conversion rate. No, click-through rate. Sorry, let's say 10% clicked, 10%. No, that's unrealistic. 10% would be very, very high for Facebook. It's probably around 2.5%, let's say, on average. So that's now 25 people, yes, out of 1,000 have clicked. And now let's say you have a conversion rate of, let's say, 10%, because they click because there was something really of interest to them. And some of them go further and convert to do something very specific on your landing page. And let's say that's 10%. So out of those 25 people that have clicked, 10%, 2.5 people on average will be interested and become really hot leads for your services. I want to really quit smoking, for example. So if you had 10% click-through rate on the Facebook ad, and they need to arrive on the landing page, and then on the landing page, they need to have another action, you will lose people in between the two automatically. It's unavoidable. If they were remaining on the Facebook lead ad, where everything can be done on that ad, you would probably have a lower volume of people falling off the cliff, not being able or not wanting to convert because they don't have the time, it's too bothersome, they're not interested enough, or whatever. So now you could think that, okay, Stef, if it's much better to have everything in one place, then Facebook lead ads are necessarily better in comparison to having a traditional campaign with traditional banner ads, sending them to a landing page. And the answer to that question is, it depends. If your landing page is well designed and loads fast, which is very important for landing pages. If a landing page 3 seconds to load, you have a problem, obviously. If a landing page loads fast, landing pages always convert better. And here's the reason why. If you have a Facebook leads ad and everything can be done on that page, the only thing that you have collected is an interest of somebody manifesting his interest into the topic that was presented on the banner. But that doesn't mean that that person is a hot lead yet, right? They're just interested. And the fact is that when it comes to Facebook ads, we are all, and we know that, when we are on Facebook, we are on Facebook to browse. It's a consumption behavior. It is like watching a Netflix. We are not there to search for a specific solution to a problem we have. We may, at some point in time, look for groups if we have identified we have a problem, but that's not usually what we do on Facebook. On Facebook, it's a lot about browsing, liking stuff. It's about having fun. It's what we do after our work, right? Whereas when somebody clicks through a landing page, it's a very strong indication that if that person does something on that landing page, there's a much stronger desire that can be manifest, because they went further than just that little ad on Facebook ads, which is easy to fill out, really. So it's a filtration process where on a landing page, you know, you have a much higher confidence in the fact that these are cold leads, warm leads, hot leads, right? And even if the conversion rates on landing pages would be lower, it would be better leads, in generally speaking. But again, it would need to be tested out. And very importantly, the entire chain of command needs to be really optimized, meaning your Facebook ad needs to have a title and a banner visual that is reflected on your landing page, meaning there is a similar image, there is the same title, so that people know, oh, I arrived on the same page. They will not leave right away. And obviously, your landing page needs to load like this. It's like a fraction of a second. So, basically, that's the answer. It all depends what tools you use and how well you use them to drive people over to a landing page. In which case, if that's taken care of, they are way more effective than a Facebook lead ads. Facebook leads ads basically have been designed for people who don't want to go through the pains to do optimized marketing. So, or they don't know how to do a landing page, and they don't even know what it's for. There is a certain amount of knowledge that's required to to master, to make that happen. But once that is mastered, they're way more effective. Before I continue, let me know if you've got questions right away in relationship to those two ads. If you, first of all, let me know in the chat box if you understand the difference between those two type of campaigns, a Facebook lead ad and a Facebook campaign that uses a traditional Facebook ad sending to an external landing page or on your website. So no comment so far. So I guess everything's clear and I'm just continuing. Okay, so if you've got question again, just let me know and I'm answering them right here on the channel. So in that context, I'd like you to be very careful when you read statistics or blog articles that talk to you about Facebook lead ads convert way better than, I don't know, LinkedIn ads or Google ads or even a conversion campaign leading to a landing page. But it all depends what they understand themselves already what a conversion is. There's so much confusion what a conversion really is. For me, a conversion is a person that took precisely the action that I want them to take. For example, on a landing page, I want people to engage with me and to take to schedule a discovery call. That is a conversion for me. And for them, in order to do that, they have to leave their name, they have to leave their email, and in my case, in terms of the landing page that we're building, there is a very short quiz of 3 questions or 4 questions where I detect very quickly whether or not they are committed enough. I don't want to work with people who talk about a problem they have, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, they tell me I'm committed 5 out of 10. Just as much as that I do. If you're not committed enough, the outcome of a therapy session may not be high. So, and very often when people talk on blogs about conversion, they think about that first click on the button and when people do something else after that. If it's not precisely what you want them to do, I don't call it a conversion. It's just another click in the line of things that happen. So, and the end conversions on a landing page, on a well-designed landing page, are the most interesting one, and they're usually the highest ones because people are not coming to a landing page if they don't have a specific problem or a specific question to ask or whatever it is, which is related to the action that you want them to take. So let me very quickly go to your question. So Hunter asked the question here. Let me see if I can pull this over here. Yeah, so Hunter, I understand what's the equivalent for FB lead ads as the landing page. That is, what is the landing page loads right away after follow-up to lead ads? Well, that would be great, but that's usually not possible. Facebook lead ads only do that. Generally speaking, I have to be careful with what I'm saying, but usually Facebook lead ads are this closed system where this is the only thing that happen. You collect, you send, that's it. I would, if I was Facebook, and I would think about people doing a great job in terms of marketing, I would offer the possibility to afterwards being sent to something it's called a thank you page where you can a thank you landing page where you can do more things. But that's generally not what Facebook leads ads have been designed for. And that's why Facebook wants to keep them in a closed system, because it's generally speaking for people who don't know actually what to do after that. So I hope that answers your question. And Hunter is asking whether or not, let me see. And Hunter, you're asking, do you recommend avoiding FB lead ads entirely? Again, it depends. From my perspective as a marketer, if I have, and with my agency clients, we have done lead ads in the past and have compared them to a well-designed conversion campaign. Well-designed conversion campaigns were always beating the Facebook lead ads. Because you collect the information right away in a landing page, and you can do so much more, and also you can be quite confident that those who are doing those steps are lower in the marketing funnel. So I wouldn't discard completely Facebook lead ads, but if you don't have access to a good landing page builder, And if you don't know how to build a good landing page, you could screw up more than you do good by just keeping a Facebook lead ads. Let's put it that way. So as you all know, we are working on courses and giving tools to our students in a few weeks' time to optimize marketing funnels for hypnotherapists looking for clients. Well, obviously, everything we teach and the tools we provide and the templates we install are fully optimized. So it's not even a question. I wouldn't opt for Facebook leads ads at all in that case. But being a marketer, I would probably, on my end, probably we will do A/B tests with both, just to have the numbers to back up my claim and what I've seen with other agency clients in the past, meaning that conversion campaigns usually convert way better. So an A/B test, by the way, so there's a version A and a version B, and if there's a statistical validity in terms of the volume of people that run through those tests, you know precisely what works better, where are the better leads. And in that context, by the way, let me quickly show you somebody who did something recently. I hope I have it here. No, I don't. I will post it as a picture underneath, in form of a comment underneath this live stream afterwards. There's a person. Let me ask first. No, sorry. There is somebody specializing in, for example, Facebook ads for hypnotherapists, who's offering his agency services. So as an agency to hypnotherapists, and he was telling me the other day, 2 days ago, that he had a client who was investing heavily in Facebook ads. And he gave a very precise example that out of 132 conversions, Facebook lead ads, right? 132 people left their name, their email, were interested in quit smoking, which is a very hot niche, by the way. And out of those 132 conversions, and you understand why I'm saying be careful with conversions, only 2 transformed into a session, which is an incredibly bad conversion rate. It's 1 point something percent. Conversion rates should be in the 10, 15, 20%, right? And that same person, and now it makes a nice transition to another tool that I will talk about now. That same person did Google ads with that agency, and they had a conversion rate of 15%, meaning they had out of 100 clicks, 18 out of 100 clicks on the campaign, 18 became session clients. So that's way better, right? And she abandoned Facebook ads completely. I don't have the details in relationship to this, because I believe Facebook ads work very well, but you have to get it right. I would do traditional ads and would send them to a landing page. That's what I would do, and make sure that the landing pages are well designed and load incredibly fast. And that's precisely the tools that we make available to my students, hypnotherapy students, in a few weeks' time. So it all depends how things are done. There is no black and white, but if everything is optimized the way it should be, then conversion campaigns with Google ads or LinkedIn ads or whatever else should always beat Facebook ads, because the mindset of the person being in the spot in that environment on Facebook is a very different one compared to Google ads. So let's talk about Google ads. Google ads transform, generally speaking, much better in comparison to Facebook ads. And here's the reason. I explained a little bit earlier that on Facebook, people are on Facebook because it's the weekend, it's the evening, it's after work, I'm browsing, I'm discovering, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm liking, I'm doing all sorts of things. You know, it's the Netflix, it's the interactive Netflix on our mobile phones. That's how we use Facebook. It's a social media community environment, right? So it makes perfect sense. Nobody goes with that mindset on Google. Nobody goes on Google saying to himself, to herself, okay, the next half hour, I'll have fun on Google. I click on all the links and I will look what's on those pages. Nobody does that, right? Okay. So when it comes to Google, we go to Google because we are looking for information. It's a search engine tool. We are searching for something. So there is an activity which is very different compared to browsing on Facebook. We are for a specific reason we go to Google. We're looking for opening hours of something. Where's a shop nearby, an auto garage, or whatever I need in terms of a service. We're looking for answers to questions we have, and yes, we also look for solutions to pain points that we have when it comes to hypnotherapy. So if there's somebody who wants to quit smoking, who has problems with self-esteem or confidence, eating problems, weight problems, people take to Google to find answers to solve that problem. Very different from Facebook. So the mindset of the person searching on Google is such that the conversion rates are automatically higher because they're looking for answers, right? They want to have those answers. And if there's an ad speaking, offering something very specific in terms of quit smoking in 30 days by proven hypnotherapy based on Marissa Peer's rapid transformational therapy. I'm just inventing something. And by the way, I don't believe that quit smoking in 30 days is a good title. I would be more prudent there. But anyway, you see what I mean. A person who sees that and clicks on that ad because that responds exactly to the problem that person is trying to solve will be way more likely to then also transform on the landing page that you arrive on, or on the website you're arriving on when clicking on that ad. So the conversion rates on Google for something like that are much higher compared to Facebook. To Facebook. I cannot give you exact numbers because I haven't tested specific niches yet, because my own website and landing page will go online in a week or two, and I will run ads. It will be very interesting once I start running ads, because I will show you the numbers. But I know already that they would blow Facebook out of the water. But I will also use Facebook ads because, again, I'm a marketer. I want to do A/B testing and provide my students with insights so they know precisely what to do if finding clients fast, which is the topic of our live stream today. So, and very likely I will go as far as offering for those who want as an add-on. I don't know yet, but if I do the campaigns for myself on Google ads, on Facebook ads, and I see they work, then I will share very likely the entire campaign setup and how it's done from A to Z with my students as well, because that's all I'm about. I want to help people, hypnotherapists, become successful. So that's what's in store coming for Google Ads. And Google Ads only works with a click to a URL. So it's always either a website or a landing page. And for those of you who have watched the live stream, last week's live stream, it should be clear by now that a landing page, a well-designed landing page, in terms of conversion rate, will always beat a website. Because simply put, a website is this bucket full of holes where people can leave on all sorts on all sites, whereas on a landing page there's just one specific action we want them to take, and there's nothing else to do on that page. They either like it or they don't, in which case they convert. So that's Google Ads. Now, are there any questions in relationship to either Google Ads or in comparison to Facebook before I move on to the next item on our list, which could be a social media following or word of mouth? And I know that some of you also voted for networking, which is really interesting. Who voted for networking, by the way? Could you, if that person is still there on the, it was Andrea. So Andrea, if you are there, if you don't mind, and add in the comment box what type of networking, what you had in mind when you were clicking networking, that would be helpful, because it all depends how the networking is done to be effectful or not. So if you could provide me with that information, that would be really nice. So I'm moving on. I'm moving on to talk about social media following. Um, I think building a social media following is very good for several reasons. It's very good for branding. It's very good to create rapport, and it's what you see I'm doing right here. This is a social media following. I'm in a Facebook group that I created. I named it a certain way. I optimized the name in such a way that it can easily be found by hypnotherapists, because the title itself says My Hypnotherapy Marketing. So there is a marketing aspect to all that. But on the same hand, I'm not using the group to do a hard sell like I would do on a landing page in terms of selling courses. Well, I don't even have a course ready right now, right? So you see already, while I may at some point in time offer those services to those of you who are interested in, it's not the main purpose of the group really. It's more like, because I like to share, it helps me understand, as you know now, also what your problems are, so that I can take that into account for the course building that I'm working on. It has various objectives, a Facebook group, so social media following. And one of them could be at some point in time to have some of you become clients to the upcoming online course, but it's not the only objective, and it's probably not the main objective. And that answers right away a question whether or not it's a good way to find an effective way to find clients fast. I don't believe it is, because it takes time to build a following. As simple as that. I'm going live now every week, because it also allows me to hone my live stream capacities in terms of me talking, speaking, finding interesting topics. There are technological aspects to master as well. It is very useful for me on various levels, and that's why I'm doing it. But it takes probably way more time. To give you an idea, if that's something that's of interest to you, and social media is a media you like, and you find it comfortable talking to people you like, let's say you like the idea of doing something on social media. It doesn't necessarily need to be going live like I do. But if that's the case, I could very easily imagine that you would. No, I could very easily envision it to be a good idea to create a Facebook group yourself, private or not private, and, for example, around the specific topic that you'd like to address in terms of the pain points that you'd like to serve, like helping people remove obstacles in their life. Let's say you build a group of what it takes to quit smoking, what it takes to lose weight, what it takes to eat more healthy, what it takes, and let me take my intake form here. Marissa's intake form, compulsive behavior, career issues, public speaking. Oh my God, public speaking! If you do on live streams, you have a convinced public right there, because you demonstrate it each time you go live. Phobias, panic attacks, mobility problem, relationship problems, sleep problems. I mean, really, the world is our oyster. There is so many things that we can address effectively, and building a social media following, about 1 or 2 or 3, I'd say maximum, because it becomes time intensive. You've got to be careful there. I'd start with 1, could be a good idea, but then you have to post regularly, you have to interact with your people, you have to outreach, you have to be in other groups and talk about your group. So there's an entire strategy that needs to be developed to make that happen. But it's a good idea, but it's not one of the most effective ways to find clients fast, which was the topic of today's live stream. So let me quickly go back. Oh yes, Andrea, I think it is Andrea, right? Why don't I see the names of people? I see a comment here. 1 second. So I thought networking with other professionals, e.g. doctors or coaches. That's a good idea. First of all, to network with coaches and doctors is a good idea. If you haven't done so yet, It all depends how doctors, for example, react to your proposition to network with them, because not all doctors are very convinced when it comes to the effectiveness of hypnotherapy. They will probably understand that it can be effective once they start reading about it and see the results. And now there are scientific papers out there as well, but not all doctors would probably jump on the bandwagon right away. So you would probably have to do some convincing there. So that's what I see as a potential stumble block when it comes to networking with doctors. But if you find doctors that are open to the idea, by all means. But when you do networking with people who are in that field, basically what they could understand is that hypnotherapy allows them to do something they can't do themselves. You see what I mean? It's a client of theirs that they will be sending to someone else. It wouldn't necessarily reflect positively on their practice. So that's where I would see an issue. But again, it all depends how you approach them and who you know and how they react to hypnotherapy. There are certainly doctors who understand the use, and we even have doctors, as you know, taking courses with Marissa Peer. So, but those are the people that have already understood and have done their research and have learned and have been convinced because they see the results. It's not the case of everyone. When it comes to coaches, again, depends on what type of coach, but you've got to be careful to not have coaches don't get the impression that you're taking business away from them, unless you work, for example, as a partnership between a coach and a hypnotherapist. If they don't know about how to do hypnotherapy by themselves, obviously, if for example you organize seminars between the life coach and the person removing obstacles with hypnotherapy, so that the life coach can be more effectively teaching and achieve results faster, that's entirely feasible. But it's a process. It's not like, and now I compare, because the purpose is to find the most effective ways to find clients fast. That's under that perspective I'm looking at it. If you compare this to set up a campaign on Google Ads, which I can do with my team in 48 hours, 24 sometimes, if the campaigns have been done, they're up and running, and conversions happen the very same day I click on go. So there's a big difference between finding your doctors, finding your coaches, talking to them, thinking about a program, agreeing on something, how to work together, and then to make it happen. That's not fast. So if it comes to fast, to finding clients fast, the fastest way I can think of are really two, which are on that list. It's PPC campaigns, pay-per-click, which is Google Ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, because the results are there. Between those three, I would say Google Ads are the most effective. And the other one that I could see, which is an immediate thing, is word of mouth as well. I think word of mouth can be very effective, but again, it all depends on the circle of friends you have, on the circle of friends, of extended family members that you have and that you can tap into, that you can talk to. And for some of us, this is an incredibly fast way to have clients fast, to not always be paid what you would be asking a normal client, because it's family members. So very often we do things free at a lower rate. I'm just starting out. You know how it works. So if it comes to building a business, and when I say business, I mean the business of helping others, removing obstacles, you have to have something that you can rely on, and where you control the volume of people that are coming to your sessions, to your practice, week after week after week. If you do not have that, you may have some sort of an activity, but with the fear in the back of my head, I would have that, oh God, what's happening next week? You need a system where you can rely and trust that the system will bring always a minimum number of clients in your practice week after week after week. And it's more than that. It's not just recurring, but a recurring volume that allows you to make it a living, right? And I'm talking about this because if you're using word of mouth, the answer is yes, if it is effective to find clients fast, if you have a big circle of friends, extended family members, and whatever. But don't forget, once you have removed an obstacle of aunt of Uncle John who wants to quit smoking, well, he quit smoking. He's no longer a client. Okay, so you've got to find all the smoking smoking people in your extended family members, and once they are gone, you need to have a look at weight loss, and then but at some point in time, you will run out of something to offer to your extended family. So word of mouth will stop at some point in time, even including they talking about their friends. If it is well done and the circle is big enough, it can sustain a business, yes, but it's not reliable. You're not controlling the numbers. You always depend of somebody talking about you. That's a scary thought for me. So I would say yes to kickstart something, and definitely yes to get testimonials, which are, I believe, very important to kickstart your business and to find clients, because you need that. You need that validation factor is very important. But at the same time, word of mouth, I would never rely on it as a business system. And I'm also talking out of experience. I've talked to hypnotherapists during my reflective practice, those who have offering their services after having certified after a year even or longer, who told me, Stef, can you help me? I'm really struggling. I'm getting the occasional person through word of mouth, but I had to go back to a 9 to 5 because it's unsustainable. So I would never ever want that to happen to myself or to my students. It's a no. It's a definite no. When you it all depends. If you do this only because you like to do it and you do it in your evenings as a side hustle, it's fine. You don't, if you don't rely on those people coming in to pay your bills, who cares? But if you rely on that, you need something else. So there's another question, Hunter. Okay, let me show your question again, Hunter. Thank you so much for your questions, by the way. I'm doing these live streams really mainly, very importantly, for those questions. So I thank you very much for those questions, because they help me learn what you're struggling with, and they will influence what I will be teaching, what I will put into my courses. So opinion on PPC effectiveness for Nextdoor, the neighborhood app, compared to Facebook, Google, Yelp, somewhat of a mix of word of mouth and PPC. I'm trying to make the link, Hunter, because PPC is designed to touch people that you don't know yet, and they're not living in your neighborhood, unless they happen to be in your neighborhood by chance. Let me read it again. Opinion on, so the PPC's effectiveness for Nextdoor. It only would work. The way I can see your idea to work is if you design your PPC campaign in such a way that you target your local area only. Because if you want to use PPC in support of your neighborhood activities, then you need to use PPC to target your neighborhood activity. Otherwise, it won't work, right? And that's entirely possible. With Google Ads, we can drill down our targeting to postal codes. So how much more easy can it become, right? So you can target your local areas. And I do this every day with my agency clients. My local auto garage, or my local patio builder, or my local moving company, they're local. They will not send their trucks. I don't know. We are in Montreal. They will not send their trucks to Toronto or to New York or to whatever. They have local businesses, and we target only. We do it with a radius in this case. We don't do it with postal codes, but you could target postal codes. But never forget that as a hypnotherapist, with everything we've been going through over the last 2 years with COVID, we now know that offering services via Zoom is completely possible. So between you and me, I wouldn't limit myself to the neighborhood. I would target languages. I would target maybe your area, because it's easier if people see that you are local to the area. because they didn't know. Oh, wait, it's a person living in New Jersey. It's a person in New York. It's a person in Montreal. It's a person in Toronto. There is like a familiarity aspect to it, which may influence conversion rates. But on the other hand, you need to have a session with people speaking the same language. So I see myself targeting people in Australia. Why not? In the UK, why not? New Zealand, why not? The only issue could be the time difference, right? Between Montreal and over there. And I wouldn't probably target that far away, because I personally believe that the market that we are potentially targeting as hypnotherapists is absolutely huge. We haven't even tapped into, we haven't even seen the possibilities in terms of volumes. I mean, there's an entire industry living on weight loss solutions and diets, and from intermittent fasting to what have you fasting. I mean, people all over the world in each country are struggling with the same issues, and they're all approaching it wrong. We know that. You know that. I know that. They don't. So waking them up with an ad, a PPC ad on Google Ads, Facebook ads, wherever, telling them you got it all wrong, try hypnotherapy, would be probably a much higher success rate. And the market is there. You don't need to rely on neighborhood. But if you can use your PPC ads to showcase something like you put on your landing page, that would be an idea. You just put on your landing page, as seen on Google. People look at your landing page. Well, what do you mean as seen on Google? And you can even add as seen on BBC. You can, because you can target your Google ads to appear on BBC. Did you know that? On the app, BBC ad? Because the Google Display Network allows you to do that. You can have banner ads with your face, a nice banner ad that talks about that, and you can then say as seen on ABC, BBC, whatever. You can add that legitimately because the ad appears on BBC. So I would rather use it as a tool to validate the value of what you have to offer. They don't need to know that it was an ad that was appearing on there, for as long as you are confident that you solve problems. And we know we solve problems, right? There's no question about it, but there's a lot of people that don't even know about it. So that's as much as I think I could provide as information in terms of the neighborhood. Oh, so there's a Facebook user asking me this. When you say students, are you teaching? What is the procedure to become your student? Sorry, I don't know much. No worries. You can't know because I never talk about it. I mean, I do talk about it from time to time. So to answer your question, we are with my agency team. So I'm a marketing guy. Okay, I've got an agency in Montreal, a boutique agency for the last 15 years. Almost 20 years now, serving a variety of clients. And I am working on, show you this, on courses effectively. University. I'm sharing my screen very quickly so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm working on courses for digital marketers. This is the digital marketing course platform that we are working on. And then we also have this one, My Lifestyle Business. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Lifestyle Business. And on My Lifestyle Business, I will teach everything I know, everything I've learned over the last 20 years or so to people working from home, like this lady being at her home with her baby and having adopted hypnotherapy as a future career, for example. So we have been working on those courses for quite some time. And yes, we will go online with a course program that where I will teach from A to Z, specifically to hypnotherapists, because that's what I will become myself. Because I find it absolutely fabulous. And I'm learning with Marissa Peer currently, and I will be a certified hypnotherapist next month. And I realized by questions in our forums with Marissa P and other hypnotherapy forums, the incredible disinformation and lack of information and lack of skills when it comes to marketing our services. So many people struggling, and I just found it incredibly sad because it shouldn't be that way, because the market is absolutely huge and it's just the right way of doing things. So yes, we're developing courses to do this, and we decided to offer this in a few weeks from now with just the first batch of 10 or 15 students, not more. And it will be what we call done for you. We do everything for students from A to Z. And we are working on 3 different versions of that course, where we offer the done for you version, but we develop what we call SOPs, which is standard operation procedures, where we give students that want to do it by themselves at a much lower price, obviously, in comparison to done for you, where we give them the standard operation procedures to step-by-step use and implement all the tools we include in the course. This is very specific of what I'm doing, really. So when I talk about landing pages and a website, we give the tools to the student. When I talk about social media, we give a social media management platform to the student. If I'm talking about knowing precisely what the conversion rates, the click-through rates, the effectiveness of our campaigns are, we give that tool to the students. So we offer all the students that we think, that I believe are required to become a successful hypnotherapists selling our services online with Google Ads, Facebook Ads, whatever. We will offer that to students, and we will start everything with the done for you version, where we build it for 10 students so that I see what they like, what they don't like, what they struggle with if I'm asking them to do something with our SOPs. But that's what's coming up. So that's the teaching portion of things. So I have decided, and just to give you a little understanding where it actually comes from. So I've been, as you've seen, planning on offering these PPC university courses, which you can see on this website here. And with this, I help people become Google certified and then launch their business working from home, really. And by talking to some of those students, I understood that some of those students are practicing what's called self-sabotage, are practicing, have issues with not believing in themselves, have issues of feeling not good enough, and you know where that comes from. So I realized, wait a minute, actually I can offer the best courses in the world and offer them all the tools to make it happen and show them step by step how to do it. But if I don't remove those stumble blocks for my students, they will never succeed. Whatever I give them, they will not succeed. Or let's say a high percentage of students will abandon. And I don't know if you know that, but online courses to teach people how to run a business, be it from home or whatever other type of business, a coaching business or offering Amazon services or whatever, I think it's over 90% of people in those courses abandon the course. They never go to the end. And one of the big reasons is that everybody tells them what to do, and nobody in those courses. And I took courses, I purchased courses myself to understand what's wrong. So I took courses with Brandon Burchett, with Marie Forleo, with Jeff Walker. I purchased all those courses, right? Expensive courses, $2,000 and up to $6,000, to realize, wait a minute, these guys, they're all teaching what to do, but nobody tells you how to do it. And then I understood, wait a minute, they cannot explain how to do it, because how to do it is related to a tool that you use. Then you can explain how to do it step by step. But if you don't offer the tools, it's impossible to do. And that's why that's when I decided to actually purchase the tools for my students and to build a course, not just on what to do, but how to do it. And that's basically the courses that you see here. So these are the PPC courses, and here are all the tools that the digital marketers need to make it happen. And I then realized that, hey, I need a different a different skill set on my end, and that's when I came across Marissa Peer. And I immediately realized, oh, Jesus, this is a tool that I need to help my students go beyond just learning what needs to be done, but to understand how to do it step by step. That's the tools, but to also remove the stumble blocks that they put themselves into their mind. And that's addressing issues that are lodged in the subconscious mind. So that's what I'm adding also to the courses to help students on that level. So Hunter, yes, there's another. Let me put that on the screen very quickly before, because it's now an hour and I don't want to go over an hour. So Hunter was saying, personally, I'd be interested in both learning the skills and done for you. Yeah, I think that's the most important, the most interesting combination, by the way. And she says, if there was a package or discount for learning the skills, if you pay for the done for you, would be of interest to me. That's included. If you will opt for the done for you, and it will be very limited in terms of students, I have to, because done for you, we really, literally, my entire team and we're not a big team, we're 8 people, but very, very specialized, very high level, state-of-the-art marketers, marketing technicians, social media professionals, marketing funnel specialists, social media. We really have a great team. And I make the entire agency team that I use for serving agencies here in Montreal, I make that available to my students on my lifestyle business to help hypnotherapists build their business from A to Z. And when those 10 or 15 students will take a lot of our time, obviously, because we do it for you, but the done for you includes all the other course options. They include all the tools, they include all the SOPs, they include the monthly live streams. There's a specific group that will be built for monthly live streams only for paying students, where I do something like this, but much more in-depth and much more actionable with PDF workbooks, and we go and we answer specific questions for each student. That's also why it needs to be limited. So that's coming up. But automatically, I would be very interested, obviously, in people that would like to do a few things by themselves, because obviously I am very interested in the feedback where students tell me, hey, Stef, I'm not that bad in internet when it comes to Google or whatever, but this was complex for me, in which case I go back to the SOPs and I tell my team this needs to be improved so that it becomes easy, because that's my job. So I hope that answers your questions. Hey Sadia, I just read your message here in the comments. That's awesome. Thank you for everything you've shared today. I appreciate the insights and you have. Yeah, well, the pleasure is all mine. I just, the more I do live streams, the more I like it. Today I didn't prepare whatsoever. I just had those poll questions, and I just wanted to talk about it and to open the possibility for you to ask questions. So that's about it for today. I was not even able to address the other possibilities that are that I put into the poll, but I can shortly touch upon each of them very quickly in a follow-up comment underneath that live stream. So for today, I thank you very much. Just to let you know that very soon, I don't know if it will happen the next week, we will have our own landing page for people to sign up to alerts in relationship to these live streams, these weekly live streams. And when that happens, you will learn from it in the Facebook group, and then you will also be informed way in advance when those live streams happen. And for those who are on the list, I'm thinking about adding some more, something to give away, something like, I don't know yet, downloadable PDF workbooks, something special to do for those who are on the list, because these are the most engaged people. And so when that happens, you will be able to see that as well, and have access to more information. So That being said, I thank you again very much for being here today. I hope it was of interest to you, and I'll see you again next Thursday at 12 p.m. At 12 p.m. Yeah, that's noon EDT. Is that Standard Time here in Montreal, Canada. And I wish you all a wonderful day and a wonderful upcoming weekend. Bye bye.